Now that was wrong. You would say, you could probably agree with me that that was objectively incorrect to do that. But, I guess that's what we're going to talk about today anyway. I'm here to defend the fact and my belief, which is the fact that there's objective truth to the origin of time. And I'm going to support that fact with the evidence provided from music. There's a few topics I'm going to get to today, a few subtopics, I guess you could say, and I hope I can do a good job of explaining. You might be thinking, there's some fault to your theory of objective truth in music. What about jazz? Isn't that stuff chromatic? Doesn't it not follow a certain scale all the time, or a certain key, I guess? What about some metal music? It uses tritones like that dissonant sounding stuff. Now, yes, those are valid points, but that is the part about music that is subjective, because that's a preference. You can like what you like, but when it comes to truth, there's objective truth. And even just with music. So what I mean by objective truth is this. I'm going to play the chord progression from Waymaker, surprise, surprise. I'm going to play it twice, and let's just see if you can spell the difference. Okay, let's go for one. Did you spot the difference? Okay, if so or if not, I'm going to tell you what it was. The first time I played it the way it's supposed to be played. Major, F major. You don't really have to know what major means, you just need to know there's a difference between major and minor. So yeah, F major, C major, I did a certain 9 chord, but it's C, it's not minor, it's major. Then G major as well. Now the 6, if you're playing a purely major song or progression, the 6 is supposed to be a minor 6. Now, the only difference between a major and a minor chord is one note. It is one half step difference. So, where this is a major, probably should have tuned my guitar before I played. Oh, better luck next time, I guess. Anyway. And then a minor, this third note, okay, so I'll play major again. The third note is one half step down. Minor. So, once again, the 6, if the key is C, okay, I don't want to confuse anyone, so I'm just going to say the 6 is right here. For this key, it's right here. This is the note. You can just play the notes. There's no chords, so they're not major or minor necessarily. But if I were to play the third of it, I'll just show you the difference, once again, of the major and minor. I'll play it correctly the first time, then I'll play it with the major 6 or major A the second time. So it's... Okay, kind of messed up there. Let's try again. You see, there's that one half step that makes all the difference. So as opposed to, okay, that's not, no, it goes G, sorry, it goes G. That sounds correct. But if you were to go, it's not right. It's not right.
It's not good.
Did you hear that? It ain't good.
Now, once again, you can have personal preference. If you think that sounds good, that's fine, but it is incorrect. for the key. Now I don't want to can't talk today apparently. I don't want to get too far into like throwing in minor sevenths and stuff, because then that opens it all up. And music is art, so you can do whatever you want, but when it comes down to the certain truths of music, there are objective truths, which point back to my belief and fact that there's objective truth to the origin of time. Get to the second subpoint. Now this one is similar to something I talked about before. I talked about having music preference, like you might think that sounds good. If you do, that's fine and that's cool. It's cool to have a unique preference for anything. But with that said, you can't deny when something is dissonant. You could even hear the sounds like, I don't know, little bell getting knocked back and forth. Anyway, whether you think it sounds good or not, dissonance is a real thing. And I guess that could point to another whole topic, that whether whether sinning is something that you think is wrong or not, it still is. And not that dissonance is wrong. That sounds terrible but on its own, but if you were to do this, it would sound a little bit better. Now, that's not to say it's not dissonant anymore, because I threw in some extra notes and made it sound a little bit better. But it's okay that I think it sounds alright, even with the dissonance in there. So, I guess the point is, what is the point? It's that even though you may have a liking, or you might think that some dissonance is okay, or sounds good, which, that's fine, it is still dissonant. And considering that there's something that could be potentially perceived as wrong, that's proof that there is right. I guess I should have played a major when I said that. Anyway, I hope that's not too confusing. But, yeah, there is wrong chords that might sound okay to some people, but they are distant, not distant. Oh my gosh, dissonant, and you can't deny that. That's one of the objective truths of music. Alright, and the third and final point I want to get to is the fact that music theory, all the original, maybe not even original, but some of the first composers and musicians that kind of made, people would say they might have made music theory. They didn't make music theory, they discovered it. Because it's always been here. And guys, the only logical explanation as to why something works a specific way is a creator. And once again, it wasn't the composers that made it. They figured out what sounded good and what was correct, what is correct. Now, I don't know if music theory works different in heaven. Maybe it does. You know what, now that I think about it, it might, because I know not all people are musicians, but they might want to play music. They might not be good at it. So maybe everything you play sounds good in heaven. Probably not, but we'll just have to see. There's music in heaven. There's always been music in heaven. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Okay, I mean, God's been there forever. I'm not sure. You know what? That's really confusing. Anyway, the point is, music has been around far longer than we have, and we didn't make anything. I mean, maybe people have said, oh, this scale, I made it because no one else played it yet. Okay, but it's a law. There's a law of music. it's all major. If you were to throw something else in, you could tell there's something a little bit interesting about it. Or wrong, you could say. Now, once again, personal preference, that's fine. If you thought that sounded good, good for you. But if we are going to play something purely major, that would be wrong of me to play that. And so, since there is objective truth to music, that would lead us to the fact that there's objective truth to the origin of the universe and why we're here. And I know that objective truth. His name is Jesus. Hope you're encouraged. Signing it.